Welcome to day 6. Today is an experiment day. Since transients are chaotic motions from various modes of oscillation at the beginning of each stroke, they're usually accomplished within a few hundredths of a second. So our experiments today will revolve around paying attention to all the events surrounding the transients or the articulations in order to make them more conscious. We're going to start with a different bow hold just to help you pay attention to the bow. So take your modern hold and choke up just a little bit like it's a Baroque hold, and then we're going to go ahead and play the Bach D minor giga, paying very careful attention to how the bow feels in your hand and what feels comfortable. Feels different. Let's try it again. You might have to try it a few times to make it feel good, and then just when it feels good, we're going to switch it up. We're going to go ahead and move back to the modern bow hold, and we're going to try the same thing. And it's going to sound different and it's going to feel different, but keep paying attention. And maybe you like lots of things about that, and maybe you want to keep experimenting for a bit. But let's go ahead and try another experiment. This one's the ricochet. And the ricochet is only in the control of the bow. You're going to let almost all of the control release from the hand, very floppy, relaxed, and we're just going to let the bow bounce on the string all by itself. You'll notice if you bounce closer to the frog, the bounce is slower. If you bounce closer to the tip, it's faster. It's even faster if you hold the bow tighter. Even the frog is faster. So this is something to take note of if you want to change the speed of your ricochet. All you have to do is hold the bow a little tighter or a little looser, or move to a different place in the bow. Let's look at an example of an off-the-string stroke that we're going to let the bow control. I think my favorite example is from Paganini 24. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow one note to be the impulse note, if you will, the note at which I bounce off the trampoline and let the bow take over the bounce. I go from the third note. So now if I do it full tempo, you can see that third note just lets the bow bounce off the string perfectly. There's almost no work at all. Another example that you could take is an on-the-string stroke. And this one, we're going to pay special attention to what's going on in the resonance of the string and the surrounding finger motions from the bow. So this is from Beethoven 7. And we want to build this beautiful resonant sound, but every note is going to have a slightly different articulation. And even that one, we pay attention to the surrounding events. One final example would be a Mahler Symphony No. 1, where you have a string crossing and you have to pay attention to between the notes so that your string crossing is almost invisible. Or another example where you want to hear all of the articulations would be the Rachmaninoff Symphony No. 2. And you have, in this one, a very heavy spiccato stroke with lots of K sound. So you want to hear a lot of click. And then when you go full tempo, you can allow that low part of the bow to make the clicks for you. And that's a good start for articulations. Tomorrow, or rather day 8, because tomorrow you're supposed to be resting. On day 8, we're going to discuss all the 7 types of ways that you can articulate in the violin repertoire.